Hello and welcome to Seagull Social, episode 18. I am your host, Maz, and of course I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Ben and Ryan. How are we doing, chaps? We all good?
Better, mate.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy as well, mate. I'm all good. I've calmed down.
I thought we were talking about life.
Down. Yeah, no, I mean... life's crap.
I'm knackered. I'm fucking knackered. Like, first day back at work today.
At the time of recording, Ben, right? So we're actually, it's 6 o'clock on a Monday, and it's Boris Johnson's speech at 8 p.m. So we're going to find out. Apparently, the rumours are we're going to go into tier 5, which means pretty much exactly the same as the first lockdown, where everything's shut, apart from schools, I believe.
And hopefully football.
What's the point in that? Oh, God.
I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, so, right. I mean, life's not great. But
feel like pure shit, just want the Christmas holidays back.
yeah. How was everyone's Christmas? New Year? Did anyone do anything apart from sit in their room and see the year through?
I definitely didn't go out. Definitely didn't go to a friend's house. No. That's for sure.
Good man. Abiding to the rules.
Play FIFA, yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most. Yep. That's probably the worst way to enter 2021 because it's just pure pain.
Yeah, literally.
Well, my FIFA experiences anyway, but I don't know about yours. If you're any good.
No, it's not. It's not great, mate. It's not great.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Brighton then, because I mean, they gave us a bit
positive,
Yeah, they're actually. I mean, I felt good after that second half. The first half was abysmal, apart from the first goal, Connolly's goal. But yeah,
first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Also, all in all, let's start with you then, Ryan. Just a quick summary of how you thought, our performance against Wolves was.
Yeah, I was really second half in particular, was really, really happy with how we sort of bounced back. The first half, it was like one of those things where we were getting a bit, oh God, here we go again. Going 1-up and then conceding 3 after it, and Dan Burn actually won that 3-1, but it's
Dan Burn, man of the match, wasn't he?
It's tough to call him out because I feel so bad for the guy. Like he probably had so much stick that night. Like I can only imagine. Yeah. So he wasn't great, was he?
No, I mean, I think it's fair to say, when someone plays that badly, we are allowed to criticise, and I know what you're saying, right? Like we don't want to, we don't want to turn like a fan base against him, but let's just have it straight right now. He was shocking. Like he was. I think that's up there with Jonathan Woodgate for Real Madrid debut. I think it's up there with that. How bad
let's
that was.
Just think what he actually done wrong. So obviously the own goal couldn't really done a lot. Really,
yeah, you could argue that. Yeah,
I'd say. Let me think of 2 things that he kind of messed up on. So one was when Ben White done that lovely little dink over the defence, and I think it was Veltman and Mopé had a clear shot on goal, and he headed it away as if it was like a clearance in the first half. Yeah, and then obviously the most blatant one was the penalty he gave away, which is very idiotic. I mean, they're the only things.
That penalty, I was so baffed. Like, where is Adama Traore going? Like, he's going nowhere. Yeah. Why are you just cutting him down there? I was so baffled by that.
He knew straight away, didn't he? He literally punched the floor and was didn't even want to get up. He just had his head in hands. Yes, man.
I mean, to be fair,
on the ground.
Putting him in a back 4 at left back against Adama Traore was instantly suicide in the first place. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly.
Like putting him up, I just thought as soon as you see that, anyone can say that is a mismatch by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Like if Traore is on form, he is going to absolutely rinse him any day of the week, and he did. That's where it just
handled him quite well in the first. Handled him quite well in the first 30 minutes, though, didn't we, Adama? And then he just kind of lit up. Although maybe the first 25 or so.
The only thing I'd say about that, Ryan, though, in Burns' defence, I think, what was it, last season, he handled him really well. So that's maybe why Potter was thinking, right, he's done well against him before. And also as well, in Potter's defence as well, like, I am jumping into his defence quite a lot. But in his defence as well, Adama Traore has been on a bad run of form as well. So he sort of, I mean, maybe he's thinking. I can see what he's thinking was. He's thinking, right, a low confidence Adama Traore against Dan Burn, who handled him really, really well last season. He should be all right. But yeah, I mean, it just didn't turn out that way. And I'm the first to criticise Potter. I think he did get it wrong. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Ben. But I personally think that he got that wrong. The whole sort of selection, the lineup, just for me, it was all wrong.
It's what we spoke about last week, wasn't it? As we even done a clip on our IGTV. It was about Potter putting these players in the positions where they're going to get criticised because it's not their actual position. So putting Dan Burn left back or left wing back against Adama Traore, you are kind of setting him up for fail. Like maybe it was a fluke last year. Although saying that, I think last season he handled a lot of the speedy, like the pace merchants quite well. I remember when we played against Theo Walcott and Salah, he handled them pretty well. Like considering the pace that they had, the pace that he doesn't have. But obviously the past few games we've seen Saka tear Dan Burn a new one. James Justin done that for Leicester, and obviously now Adama Traore is exactly the same. So it must be a confidence thing as well because he knows that the Brighton fans are on his back. But you can kind of blame Potter for putting him in that position and not more speedy fullback, which we obviously don't have.
Well, I mean, question to you, Ryan. What instead of Dan Burn, would you play Bernardo there?
I'd have played Solly. What's Solly done wrong?
Yeah.
Why is he not in left wing back? I get the whole point of trying to
I didn't understand that.
But overall, play Solly there. But like he's been fantastic this season. I think he even made the Football Daily underrated team of the season so far. So thanks Chris Hamill for that because I don't get it. Like why do we not just play Solly there? Because he's been fantastic. That's what I'd have done anyway.
It was 5 at the back though. It was 5 at the back. Let me just check because we went 4-4-2
I think Dan Burn was left centre back, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was 40th minute when we went to 4-4-2. And then we changed it to 4-4-2 from the 5 at the back. So originally he was playing left wing back, and then it was like a double team. They were like double team and Adama Traore pretty much, but. Obviously, when they went to 4-4-2, Dan Burn was left alone.
In Ryan's defence, to be fair, he March did sort of like he went right wing at one point. I think he played he was all over. To be fair, March, I don't know what he's very very effective at left wing back. So like Ryan said, why not play him there? It was a bit baffling. And again, we've got to criticise Potter when he does get these decisions wrong. But then, in his defence, he then, at half-time, he obviously recognised that, and we were 3-1 down, so, I mean, couldn't really get any worse. He did recognise that, and in all fairness to him, he did switch it up and brought some fresh legs on. And, we look much, much better in the second half. So let's just talk about then...
Sorry, this just actually blatantly shows how Potter got this wrong as facts. So, 40th minute, we went to 4-4-2. Literally moments later, Dan Burn conceded the penalty, because he was obviously maybe... left alone with him, but that's definitely down to Potter's mistake there.
No, definitely.
Go back into the second half then.
No, it's cool. No, so first half, let's just talk about the first half then. So Connolly's goal, in all fairness to him, we've been slating him, and his celebration, I think, said it all.
Probably aimed at us.
I think he's aiming at us three. I was going to say, I think he's been listening to the podcast, so if you're listening, mate, well done for scoring a goal.
Aaron, forever doubting you, mate. You're better than Pele.
Imagine he pulls up his shirt like Mario Balotelli. Suck your mum so you go social.
I would love that. To be fair, absolute free publicity. But no, don't get me wrong. It was a good goal, very good movement. To be fair to him, great cross by Trossard as well, who we've criticised a little bit as well.
He did really well.
Both Trossard
build up play from Adam Webster as well. He literally charged through, didn't he? He done one of his Webdini runs and it paid off. And then moments before that, Trossard tried the same and it was a really poor ball. And he obviously got the second opportunity, but put a second ball in this time. After slipping over as well, I thought he'd cocked it up again, but slipped over and managed to whip a decent ball in.
Yeah, and what do you think, Ryan, of Trossard's performance? What do you think of his overall performance? Because I know we've said he's maybe been a bit shit recently. What do you think of him against Wolves?
He played well. Like he did everything that you'd want him to do. It seemed like he was back to his old sort of ways where he was not afraid to take people on again. He's putting in these great balls and stuff, and it was like, for the goal, he did that little skill move, dropped it back. Even though he slipped over, he still got a good ball in. That's the Trossard that we've been waiting to see again. The one that was at the beginning of last season. So he's obviously still there. He's got it in him still, but it's just like he needs to do that more consistently because on his day he's a fantastic player. But all in all, that first half, bar that a bit dodgy 20 minutes, we weren't too bad, especially at the beginning. We were doing pretty well. It's just the frustrating thing of we score a goal and then we just seem to go to sleep. And I think I don't know if you guys listened to Neil Mopay at the end of the game, and he said that he basically picked up on that and then said he was the one at half time basically saying, "Look, boys, we know that we're not playing to how much we can. We're not putting everything in." And he said, if we go out there and we lose, but we're trying as hard as we can, then you can accept it more. But if you're not trying and you're sort of half-heartedly caring, it's like you deserve to lose that game. And I think the second half it showed that players do have the character. Graham Potter hasn't lost the dressing room, which is good to see. The players looked like they actually cared about the club the other night. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing we were well, especially last week we were saying, weren't we? We were like, is the passion there? Do they want it? And that's something like we're too nice. We let's say 3-1. If we were 3-1 down, let's say a couple of weeks ago, I don't think I think we would have capitulated, maybe conceded 5. It would have got even worse, I could see. But no, definitely. And just on the you talk about you mentioned the fact that we conceded so quickly. So Roman Saiss, I think it was, who got the equaliser, wasn't it?
Yeah, great header.
Yeah, great header, to be fair to him. But again, would you question the defending, or do you think it was just a good header?
Yeah, it was. I think it was Solly March and someone else just had their backs to him. Well, Solly March was, I think, a bit towards the edge of the box, and so I can't remember what centre back it was. Just had their back to him. No one was really covering him, and he just had a free-leaping header. Unbelievable header, unfortunately.
Yeah, great header.
Yeah. Just to have like curl and dip right into that top corner. It looked like it was going over, so I was like, "Oh, this ain't going in." And then all of a sudden, just dips.
And also as well, on that as well, it counted as another set piece conceded. So that is just killing us at the moment. And why is he not doing something about it? Because I think we're one of the worst in the league for conceding from set pieces. So why are we still...
us and Leicester, isn't it?
Is it...
It's just right down there.
Yeah, us and Leicester, yeah. Well, is there anything we can do? Like, is there anything we can change or what?
I saw a tweet, it was, the players are, like, it's almost like when we're up front, with players getting in good positions to have the chances in front of goal, but we don't take them. And if you can go back to the West Ham one, Dunk was in the right position to be able to head it away, but he didn't. So that's almost down to a player's mistake rather than zonal marking mistake. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's obviously the players just need to be switched on a bit better in those situations, but just
the trouble is the zonal marking thing. It's like, again, it's not working. So why do we insist on it? We're right down there with one of the worst. So as much as you say it's not directly its fault, but at the same time, the players look like they never know what to do at a set piece. We're all sort of all over the place.
I was just about to say that.
You get these free headers, and it's like they're completely open again, and it's like, well, what were we doing that for? Like, it's just stupid.
And have you noticed as well how they all look at each other like, oh, was that your man? Or was it like it's like it's like none of them know, like, oh, was it me? Was it you? Like, who should be marking who? And I feel like if people are doing that, surely you just turn around and go, right, lads, we're doing man to man marking. You're responsible for this guy. You're responsible for that guy. And if you concede, you've got to take responsibility, and that's on your head. I just feel like people aren't taking responsibility, and it seems like everyone's just looking around each other like, oh, was that my fault? Or I don't know what I'm doing really. So it's a bit worrying, to be honest. But then also as well, then we went quite quickly 2-1 down. We can definitely question Sanchez's keeping there. I personally think anyway. I feel like he could have punched it away better. And then of course we mentioned it, Ben. I think you mentioned it. It was quite unlucky for Dan Burn, to be honest with you. I don't think. Could he? What do you reckon, boys? I don't personally think he could have got out of the way of that, to be honest.
No, it looked like he tried to take a touch and it just went in. But sorry, going back to the Sanchez thing. Really I'm not a goalkeeper, right? But if people are listening to the podcast, I'm holding my hand out flat. So if the ball's hitting you with the flat hands, obviously you're not going to get much power behind it. It's just going to kind of bend your fingers and done what it done against Wolves, and they ended up scoring their own goal. But what if you're a keeper and you're punching it out with a fist? Surely you're going to get a lot more power. So Sanchez's mistake is he had his hand out flat, and it kind of just lightly touched his hand and flopped down. It didn't get any power behind it. But obviously, I think we missed the fact that Solly March didn't close down Pedro Neto at all, did he? I don't know if you saw that, Ryan.
Yeah.
No, you're right. To be fair, you are right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's one of those where, like, I mean, what more could Sanchez? Well, no, sorry, what more could Burn do? To be honest with you, like in his defence, it sort of just it flew at him and it went in, and obviously, and then after that point, it just like everyone's head sort of dropped, and then they also then got the penalty, which Dan Burn again just had an absolute disaster. I think we mentioned it
that
earlier.
One's unbackable.
Like, why is he doing it?
Yeah,
why are you?
That one's hard to defend.
Yeah, why are you flying in there? Like, literally, Adama Traore was the worst he could have done was maybe face it across the, and we probably would have cleared it. We had a lot of defenders back. Sanchez was in a good position. I just didn't understand what was going through his head. Why you need to just side someone down there? So I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that it was
almost like
terrible.
Maybe the fact that he scored an own goal was on his mind, and he wanted to repay. Even though the kind of old goal wasn't really his mistake, he was thinking, right, I need to make a good challenge here to kind of win the fans back, or
like a
to
big
get myself out
tackle.
of the mud. Yeah, need to do a really good tackle here. That might have played a part, but it was so stupid. There's no chance.
And he absolutely fucked it.
Really, really poor tackle. Like, VAR, there's no need for VAR then. That was the obvious penalty.
No, that's true.
It's not even like Dan Burn was like, I've got the ball, because he just went straight to ground and just, curled up into the ball.
And then we all thought it was over, to be honest, didn't we? Well, I did anyway. I was like, fuck this. I was like, what's the point? This is just a shambles. But then
I was gutted. I thought we had thrown it away because we were looking good one night, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And also as well, let's talk about Connolly obviously going off injured as well. Again, he seems to be quite injury prone, like a little bit similar to Lallana in a sense that it's sort of like he starts to play really well. You start to think, oh, okay, he can really, bring a lot to our team. Does an
unbelievable bicycle kick.
Oh my God, that bicycle kick was nuts. I was like, where the hell? Oh my God, yeah. I was like, that was nuts. But yeah, just going back to the point that, he seems to be doing really well. Like, in all fairness to him, he played well up until that point, I thought. He didn't really do much wrong.
Really good.
Yeah, and then he got injured. And again, he seems to be quite unlucky with injuries. So fingers crossed it's not like I think he said 2 weeks, didn't they? I think he might be out for.
Is it hammy or
it's a hamstring? Then yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think hamstring. I think. So obviously, yeah, gutted. I was personally quite gutted that he went off because he looked good and he was linking up quite well. I thought with Mope. Didn't you guys think, Ryan? Do you think?
Yeah, they look really good. Well yeah, I think Connolly, he definitely had that confidence. Like he didn't look afraid again. It was the Connolly that we sort of saw when he burst onto the scene against Tottenham. The one that was very direct, didn't really care who was in front of him. He was going to take him on anyway. A bit like what I said about Trossard. He just, the fearless sort of factor that you want in a striker.
Yeah.
But, it's a shame for him because, as I say, he was playing so well, and I think he knows he's had the fans on his back because I think he's the sort of guy to look at criticism. But, he repaid it very well. I noticed a celebration that he did. I do think that was aimed at the fans. I'm sure if he searched his name, he would have seen quite a bit of stick he got. But,
because he's quite active on socials, isn't he? He's quite active on social, so I'm sure he's seen it, seen his sort of criticism around.
And I rate the celebration. If you're gonna take it, just give it back to him. Just why not? Because it's a bit like how Jamie Vardy rolls, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, can't argue. Once you score, you sort of shut everyone up, really, haven't you? But my only thing is, don't get me wrong, I rate it. I do rate it. I like his cockiness. I like his attitude. But then at the same time, I was a bit like, right, okay, settle yourself down, mate. Like, if you can do this on a regular, consistent... So that's why Jamie Vardy can get away with it, because he does it on a regular, consistent basis. He bangs in goals, and you're like, all right, yeah, fair play. When you go do some shithousery against West Brom, whatever, fair play to you. But with Aaron Connolly, I'm still a bit like, right, just settle down a little bit. Just humble yourself a tad, just because you're still not at that level. And I thought he showed that a little bit too much cockiness for my liking. But I mean, I do rate it. I like him having that kind of edge to him, which is good.
I think we sort of as we keep saying. Go on, Ben.
No, go on.
If I was going to go to Basuma, because my friend Maya's going to hate me for this because she's like his number one fan. He actually had a pretty much of a stinker, didn't he, in the first half? Like got that early yellow card, could have been sent off, could have got another yellow card on 2 different occasions. And obviously Potter thought, right, I'm not risking this, and he's obviously suspended for the City game, unfortunately, and he had to get brought off at half time. But yeah, after that first challenge, I thought, right, you need to calm down here, mate, otherwise you will get sent off. And yeah, every time he went and lunged in for a tackle, I was shitting myself. I thought he was going to get sent off.
And then Proper come on and changed the game completely. He literally completely changed the game. Proper showed every bit of class that Graham Potter said back in that press conference that I was at. I remember it so well. And he said that he's one of the most football knowledgeable people that he's ever met. He's so he's a man of few words, but when he speaks so much sense. And I think you can sort of see that in the way he plays. On his day, Proper's so classy. And I think we saw one of those performances. But what I was going to say in reply to you, Matt, just before Ben said about that, was about the edge thing. We keep saying we need this arrogance and this edge, and I think it's good if we have a player that can do that, like in Connolly. If he can do it and then repay himself with a goal, like I really don't mind, because we need those people to be, that ruthless streak. And I think that second half, if we go on to the second half, we saw. The players had that ruthless streak again. It was like we had players playing for the club, I think Proper, as you say, did really well. And Zakiri, like he come on, he was very energetic. He was running in behind. Yes, he missed a sitter, but at least he was in those positions making those runs. And it's like those players that like, they actually look like they care.
No, definitely. I mean, the passion was clear to see, and I think the changes definitely made a big part of that. Let's talk. You mentioned Zakiri, so let's talk about Zakiri, because I saw on socials, and myself included, I had a very differing opinion to a lot of even you two on the pod, but I saw on socials that he really he divided a lot of opinions. So I think on the Facebook forums, like the Brighton forums, I saw a lot of people sort of slating him, but then a lot of people defending him. So let's start with you, Ben. What do you think of Zakiri's performance, considering, I mean, it was quite a big moment for him to come on, really.
I think didn't really expect a lot, and I think, we would have been silly to expect that he was going to be an absolute game changer. I think we spoke about that off air as well. Like, if you thought he was going to be a game changer and get us a few goals, then you're deluded, because we signed him as a Swiss under-21 player that scores goals in a lower league in Switzerland. I thought it helped the fact that as soon as he came on, he flicked the ball to Maupay, we won a penalty. So straight away, I think fans were thinking, God, this guy's really helped us out here. Straight away, there's positivity around his name. Yes, he missed a sitter, but I think I was fairly impressed with his performance. Like I said, I didn't really expect too much from him. Shame he missed a sitter, but it looked like he was fighting for the shirt. It didn't look like he was just half-arsing it. You can tell when Dunk got that goal, he was probably a bit more relief than actual passion. But you can see the passion on him and the relief. That's what it meant to him when we finally equalised.
And Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're being very harsh on him. I thought he was, really. I thought everything he did really well, apart from the finish. He was making a lot of runs. Yeah. He was very energetic. He didn't stop going, and he's that sort of target man that works with Maupay really well. And I think if he can get a bit of experience in the Premier League, he settles in a bit. It's going to take a bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think with him, you can see he's got so much potential in him. And we spoke about that with Aaron Connolly. And, you question whether he's got the potential. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But with Zakiri, I think it's quite clear that you can see there's something in there. At least to me there is anyway. So I think more minutes he gets, the better he's going to be. I don't think there's anything to concern me whatsoever with his performance.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he was absolutely shocking, blah, blah, blah. However, my only my counter argument to, you talk about the running and you talk about someone, being energetic. Danny Welbeck, he's a runner, he buzzes about, so why not bring Danny Welbeck? If you want the running and you want the, that kind of, being a sort of, how to describe it?
Welbeck was injured,
running at defenders.
Oh yeah, for that game, Welbeck was injured,
yeah.
Was it? I thought he was on the bench.
No,
that was Arsenal, I think.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. All right. Yeah. Well, in that sense, then that my whole argument is flawed. But just I thought generally anyway, like that aside, generally I thought his performance was average. Like, I saw a lot of people sort of bigging him up a lot, and I was just like, he didn't really do much. And I get it. He came on, and fair play. He did get that flick on for Maupay, and he did look. Yeah, he looked all right. But then for me, like that big miss really sort of stuck in my head. And at times I felt like he was just running for the sake of it. Like, he just looked a bit sort of lost at times, where he was just sort of running towards someone and then didn't really know. There was no direction in my opinion. But look, I'm not saying he's shit, or I'm not saying he can't be a player, because like Ryan said, I think he has got a lot of potential, and it's still so early on. Like, he's only was it his second appearance? I think it was his second.
It's just good to see that how much confidence he had, like coming on for the second half where you're 3-1 down. And he played as if we weren't losing 3-1. He played with proper confidence, and players were confident enough in him to give him the ball. And
and also as well, to be fair, one thing that did impress me with him, I think Ryan mentioned it, or I think it might have been you, Ben, that he did show a lot of passion. Like, he did show a lot of sort of, I think it was for was it the second goal maybe, or the equaliser? He literally was running behind Dunk, like absolutely. You could see the pure sort of passion from all the players, which was really sort of nice to see, but especially from him as well. So no, I mean, look, I'm not going to sort of say he's done for or whatever, but I just feel like maybe his performance didn't impress me as much as you guys, maybe. But maybe I'm just being harsh. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my my irrelevant opinion on him. And then, so we obviously got it back to 3-2 really, really early on, which was great to see, as we all mentioned. And then I'm just reading through the match notes, and I've just got here, Burn fuck off. So I
I've
think
literally got that right, as exactly the same. Straight after says goal nil Mope. The next bullet point is Burn fuck off.
So I think that's alluding to the fact that I think we mentioned it right at the beginning. Ryan, I think you tweeted the clip of it, didn't you, of where he headed it away, rather than heading it on. What do you think was going through his head at the time, Ryan?
I don't know. I mean, when I saw it first time, I was like, why doesn't he just leave that? Because he had Zakiri and Mope right behind him. If he leaves that, one of them's going to bury it.
Yeah.
And
surely one of them called for it. You'd hope.
Yeah,
maybe they
surely they did. Surely they did. Like that's the only excuse there possibly is that he didn't leave that, because it looked like he flicked it onto where they were, sort of thing. But it didn't work at all. It looked, to be honest, like he was playing against us at that point, and I was just like, oh my god.
It looked like he was still playing in the first half, didn't it? As if he was still defending
exactly
in that same box.
Yeah,
mad.
Yeah. No, I mean, it didn't help his case. And also, actually, I completely forgot to talk about, actually. Can we just talk about, just quickly go back to, because I just want to talk about Dan Burn. I just want to get everything, I need to get everything about him off my chest, because the more it sits on my mind, the more angry I get. So also, can we just talk about how he headed the ball for a corner when he didn't need to, and then from the following corner, that's when they scored from the own goal. So I don't know if you guys remember.
Was it?
So he headed the ball out for a corner. Do you remember when it came out and he headed it out, and then the keeper was like, "What are you doing? Why do you not just head it the other way or clear it?" And then they got the corner, and then they scored from the following corner.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest, because that was another
I did wonder
thing.
why people said 3 goals. It was 3 goals were his mistake. So I saw people saying 2 goals. So I did wonder why some people were saying 3. I didn't realise it was for that corner.
Yeah. So he was the one who headed it for a corner, and then I think it was Sanchez was like, why did you do that kind of thing? And he was like, and then he was just like, I don't know. I was like, brilliant. Thanks for that. But yeah, anyway, sorry, that was just my Burn agenda. Just had to get that out of the way.
Over.
But then and then we obviously equalised. I was absolutely flying. Fucking big man Dunkey. Can't believe it. What a guy.
Dunk's back to his best, boys. Trust me.
Yeah,
he looked very good.
But...
No, he is.
Very good.
He is. Right. Past few games, he's been great defensively and scoring 2 goals recently.
Yeah,
so,
he was very, very good.
When did he score his over? I'm trying to think. When did he score his over goal?
West
of course he did. Fucking hell. Yeah. He's on flames, mate. He's on flames. He's going for the top goal scorer.
England will have Lewis Dunk and Solly March playing with them soon. Tariq Lamptey right back as well.
Adam Webster can join in as well.
And Adam Webster back 4.
Wait, to be fair to Adam Webster, again, we've given him a little bit of stick at times, but I think
I'm not part of the Adam Webster slander. I love Adam Webster. I'll always be backing Webster, no matter what. I will back Webster.
Ryan, we've got video footage, mate. We've got video footage of you slandering him. So
roll VT.
Did I actually? Oh, sorry, Adam. I didn't.
No, but Ryan, I think you tweeted something. I think earlier today. I think you quote tweeted it or you interacted with it in some way. And I saw it was one-on-one tackles in the Premier League, and Webster and Dunk were in the top 10. And I thought that was
Webster was in the top 3.
Pretty impressive stat.
He was only behind
I think he was
Alexander-Arnold and Alderweireld, which is unbelievable.
Yeah,
and then Veltman was shortly behind that as well, wasn't he? A few places below, I think.
Oh man, okay. Well, there you go. So three of our defenders were in the one-on-one sort of defensive list, which is really. I mean, that says a lot, I suppose. And
literally our biggest scapegoat, and he just gets remembered for his bad mistakes, and it's just like.
Yeah,
like he's got some of the best statistics for a centre back in the Europe. So you can't argue.
His ball carries are class.
His ball carries
set up our first goal.
Yeah,
and he also hit the bar from one of our corners. Hit the bar as well.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah,
I think he's been getting.
That's when it bounced out for
recently.
Zakiri, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. God, yeah, Jesus.
What do we think of the dunk header then, boys? Do we think it was poor defending, or do you think it was good play from Dunk?
I think that's funny. When we were talking about the zonal marking earlier, I was relating it to the fact that they were just doing man-to-man marking, I think, and so we had 3 boys on the edge of the box, and I think Dunk literally just lost his marker. Really, I don't know who was. I can't remember who was marking. It might have been Kilman, or I think it might have been even Pedro Neto, which is obviously ridiculous. It was someone like that. Yeah, he just got away from them, and we were quite fortunate because I think the header was going wide, and obviously it slammed off Sice's face and went in. That's 2 own goals he scored, I think, in the past 2 games. He's got his lot. The United's last minute equaliser came off him, literally buried bottom corner.
Really?
So
he's going through it at the minute. Then
he's having a good time in front of the goal, but keeps scoring own goals. It seems.
Not what you need. And then, of course, mate, I was fuming at this. We have to talk about the disallowed goal from Trossard. Because I don't know what the referee's seen. And now, one thing before I forget, because I will forget this, one thing I want to point out is, right, so you know how from offsides, where they let play go on, and then if they score, whatever, then they'll review it to VAR, okay?
Yeah.
In this instance, the referee didn't allow play to carry on. He blew up straight away. So my big sort of gripe with this is, why has he not let Trossard carry on doing what he's doing, score, and then review it in VAR? Because he's just blown up straight away, and he's not even had a chance to look at it. So that's
what
my
referee
biggest...
said that he should have done as well. Like that's what, that's what.
And then that was my biggest gripe with it all. Like I was actually fuming because first of all, it's not a foul in my eyes. I think he's barely touched it.
Never a foul.
He was falling over because of that head. He was literally lunging for the header. He was going.
Yeah,
down.
was it Ait Nouri? Is that the guy?
Yeah, Ait Nouri. Yeah.
Mate, he was going down like.
He made a bit of contact with his shoulder, but not enough for a foul. Like he literally touched him on his shoulder whilst he's trying to get past. That's it.
Ridiculous.
But the fact that the referee looked so confident, didn't he? He was like did a zoom in on his face and he was like smiling really confidently that he got the decision right. I was just like, you're such a mug.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like he's basically set himself up there because, like I said, just wait. You know, let play go on. You know, let it score and then go to VAR because that's what VAR is there for.
It's to help them so he doesn't look like a mug.
Yeah.
It's like
consistency in VAR. It's just ridiculous. Like if that was Liverpool, they would have just let it go on. He would have just done that. Oh, let's let Mane run through, put it in the back of the net. Then it wouldn't have been an issue. Like it would just literally been that simple. I can guarantee you again, if it was Manchester United, if it was Rashford, it would have been completely fine. They'd have just given it. But because it was Brighton, oh no, stop the play, get it all completely wrong. Don't even follow the procedures. Blow up when it's not literally. It's just so dumb. Like they officiating again. We're talking about the officiating in this league. Is probably the worst in the world right now. Like genuinely, I think it's got to be up there because the amount of mistakes and controversy every single week is ridiculous.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I swear, like obviously the lower placed clubs and the less important matches, we obviously get the worst refs, don't we? Am I making that up?
I think you might be making it up, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how they allocate referees. So obviously, I think for the big clashes, so like the Man City, like Manchester Derby, all that sort of stuff. I think for the big ones, they do select them, but I think it's just a random sort of they allocate them in random. I don't know.
If you know, let us in the comments if you know, because I want to clear that up. It might just me thinking that we always get shafted with the shit refs.
No, it's a good point though. It's a good point though.
Seems like it.
Because it is interesting to know if that is something that we do get shafted by. Like, do we get the lower quality refs, or is it just simply that across the board referees are just shit in the Premier League? Like, yeah. If you know, shed some light, that'd be great. And then the final thing on the game then was the big chance right at the end. I think it was literally on the referee's whistle.
Yeah.
How he didn't score
that.
I think what was his name? Osa. I can't even say his name. But the young chap who plays for Wolves
as well.
Yeah, the American guy. Yeah, he's he came on and. I don't know how he's missed that.
We got
head it over the bar. I think you saw was it Sanchez and Veltman just looked at each other like fucking hell. We got away with one there. That wasn't good. So we got a little bit lucky, but I think overall, I think we I could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we should have really won that. We in that second half, I think we could have easily scored. Trossard, like we said, really should have counted, and we had some other good chances as well. Obviously, the Shaqiri one as well. But yeah, it was a game of two halves. Fair to say.
I'll tell you one more thing that I liked about the game: Graham Potter's new look. Keep the smart look, mate. It looks so much better. It comes out looking classy. And as much as it might sound stupid, right? That's got to bring a level of discipline, right? Because if you look over, you see a manager with his greasy hair and his like tracksuit.
Your PE teacher.
Your PE teacher, yeah. And you're just like, if you look over and you see a man in a suit who looks very, very, very cool, very, very classy, it's like, that's got to have a psychological impact somehow, surely.
I'm not even kidding. I think Potter said that, didn't he? In his interview today, one of his like post-match or pre-match for something. Andy Naylor tweeted it that he was saying about You might even posted the
yeah,
picture,
I did.
The
Yeah,
fact he was saying
Yeah,
about
I
how
did.
he doesn't want the players having to look over to some twat, well, not twat, but some idiot with a really poor haircut, dressed in like a shaggy tracksuit. Which it's quite funny that he actually realised that. But also, what I hate about tracksuit managers, like fair enough, you wear them during league games or whatever. But Klopp on the Champions League final, I think 2 years in a row, he wears his
you gotta dress
tracksuit,
up.
and it might just be me being ridiculous, but you've got to be wearing a suit for the big day like that.
I
Surely,
agree.
you've got to be wearing a suit.
I completely agree.
I mean, it's a very. I think it's a very. I think it's one of those.
It's a niche topic. I know it's a niche topic, but
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. I mean, me personally, honestly, if my player said to me, "Oh, I'm not performing well because you're wearing a tracksuit," I'll be like, "Fuck off, mate! Like, are you actually being serious?" No,
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
No,
it's
no,
like,
but I mean,
it brings that element of discipline, doesn't it?
yeah.
No. I get what you guys are saying. I do get it, and I agree with you. Big occasions, I think cup finals and stuff, it is nice to wear, like, you know, dress for the occasion kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, I don't know how much part of it, but it was fun. One thing I did see which was funny. Someone goes, instead of Graham Potter, he should be called Rodney Trotter, just because of what he was wearing, and they put like a picture of Rodney Trotter side by side.
The joking aside,
that was quite funny as well. I thought.
Look at Chris Hughton. Every single game, he was the coolest man in the building. Like, he was just standing there with his suit and tie. Like, he just looked so cool. And you'd look around at the managers going mad, and he'd always just be there, just like looking the coolest man. You'd be like, yes,
Sharp,
Chris.
mate,
Like, it just
sharp.
looks so much better, you know.
He looked like a boss. No,
He
that's
does look
fair.
like a
I mean,
boss.
it's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, again, another one for you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment down below and let us know if you're a tracksuit manager or if you're a suit manager, and if you think it does make a difference at all. Please let us know in the comments down below.
If you're getting told off by a bloke in a tracksuit,
Yeah.
or then you're getting told off by a bloke in a suit, I feel like the suit and this is really psychological, but I feel like the suit holds a bit more importance, a bit more weight to it.
I agree.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
you've got some-
it's a bit like being back at school, I suppose, isn't it? Like, you know,
That's what I'm
tracksuit
saying.
you associate with. Well, you associate tracksuits with your PE teacher, and then I suppose the suits would be like your English teacher having a go.
you
at
Mr.
whatever.
Conroy. History teacher.
Yeah. Or like,
Shout out
yeah.
Coleman Newman. Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting win. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know, because I think we're getting a bit too much into this now. Right.
I love it.
So that's the end of that game. Sort of the sort of look back at Wolves. And just actually, final thing I wanted to ask you boys. Actually, I know we've sort of brushed on it a little bit, but let's just quickly talk about
Potter
Graham
in, Potter
Potter's.
out.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that. Graham Potter's selection and formation. First of all, let's start with you, Ryan. Do you think he, what were your thoughts on him, on his selection and the formation he went with?
I need to remember the team now. Well, I think as we mentioned, when we changed to a 4 at the back, it was just like, what are we doing? It never works for us. So what are we trying it for?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit questionable. What was the team we had? So we had
Ben White,
Santi
CDM.
goal.
That was centre mid.
Yes,
That was
we had
probably the
White
one
in
where people
midfield.
talk about.
Yeah,
Got a bit
White in
lost
midfield. That
in
was
midfield.
yeah. I don't know. I think he was okay, but he wasn't like, he's not as good as he is in centre back. You know, he at centre back you can tell he is by far his best at centre back.
Get
because,
proper
you know,
playing
he's one of
centre
the
mid
best-
instead of Ben White.
Yeah. This was my biggest gripe was, so I mean, me personally, I think he got it wrong in the sense that, right, for me, it was a simple thing he could have done, right, was play White instead of Burn at centre back, so left centre back have Ben White, and then play Davy Proper in centre midfield. Maybe, okay, I know maybe he wasn't fit, he wasn't ready, fitness issues, whatever, but just play a natural centre midfielder there instead of Ben White. I know he can do a job, don't get me wrong, he's not inept at CDM, but I feel like his natural position is at centre back. So just play him there, take Dan Burn out of the team, and then have Proper. We got Malumbi. You've got so many options. Lallana, like he had so many options off that bench that I personally think he could have started with. Even Alzate, all these players. He could
Alzate
have
has
gone with
COVID,
instead.
doesn't he?
Oh, has he got COVID?
Is he? I'd love to see Ibasuma and Proper like as a centre midfield partnership. Just see how they get on. I can't remember the last time I saw them play together. They might be chatting shit, but I feel like they would complement each other quite well.
Was that
Yeah,
Proper
but
and
he
Basuma?
played.
Yeah,
Yeah, Proper. I thought Proper
I
played
agree.
class against Arsenal. He played class against Arsenal, and he was so good when he came on. So yeah, I agree, Ben. I would love to see them two. But obviously he's suspended, isn't he? Basuma
Basuma's now,
for the next for the next game.
I do wonder if Bissouma got that yellow on purpose, like, because he knows
he's only going to miss. Does that count for Newport?
I don't think so, but I don't think it does.
I don't know, actually.
Might be wrong, but I don't think it does.
Oh, okay. Because I think will it be Man City? We've got Man City next. So I think he misses the Man City game. Which obviously, I think that means he's back then for Leeds. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the
I thought like 5 yellows or whatever it was. I thought 5 yellows was just a one match ban.
It is, so it's just one match ban.
Maybe it doesn't count for FA Cup then.
Yeah. Well, worst case, he misses Man City, which I don't think. We look at that game as one of those games where you sort of just throw it away.
That's what I mean. Has he done that on purpose? Has he got that yellow so he knows he can miss City, so he won't miss Leeds? Is my point. Because he knows that Leeds is that big game.
Yeah.
And it's like,
if he has,
I remember Dunk did it a couple of years ago.
I'm happy with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think he did.
Yeah, mate. If he's done it on purpose, fair play to him. I'm buzzing. Well done, Eve Bissouma, mate. You're an absolute boss, man.
Going off topic, do you remember when Mourinho was at Madrid? And I think it was like their second to last group stage match. So Xabi Alonso, Sergio Ramos, like 5 other players all got yellows. So it will be refreshed for when they go to the round of 16.
And they caught him on camera.
So clever.
They caught him on camera saying, "Oh, go get a card." That was brilliant.
Did they? Jesus. Because I think they did get a fine for that, didn't they? For purposely getting yellows.
I think so, yeah.
I think they got found out.
It was so obvious. It was so obvious, yeah.
It was. Shit, that's
brilliant.
Classic Mourinho.
And sorry, I really interrupted you, Ryan. So you talk about the sort of formation and lineup. Apart from those couple of changes, then anything else that you would have amended?
I think the rest of it was all right because I think, as I say, we didn't play particularly terribly. Like, it was only that Burn disaster class. Sorry, Danny, but that Burn disaster class was the bit that let us down. But other than that, we weren't that bad. Like, I look around the team, I think everyone played above average. Like, everyone played pretty well. Mopé played quite well. Connolly played right with him. Sikiri did all right when he come on. White did okay. Proper did really well. Dunk, Webster did really well. Veltman did really well. Sanchez, maybe not. March did quite well. Yeah, I think everyone did well. So, I can't really slate the team in general. It was just a bit of a Dan Burn and Robert Sanchez at times disaster class.
And Ben, anything to add to that?
Yeah, so obviously I'll agree with the Ben White thing, and I think he should be playing centre back. We have an actual centre mid there.
Yeah.
I'd say Trossard. Just think in previous episodes I've always said he's good down the middle, but the fact he actually had decent game on both wings, and he swapped in the second half. The fact he played well down the wing showed hope that he can actually play there and can do a good job there. So that gives us another option on the wing that I'm personally happy about seeing him there now.
Yeah,
I know it's only one game, but he showed class.
No, definitely. And let's talk about Ryan. You touched on it a little bit just then. Neal Maupay. He's at 6 goals now, so he's on level with Watkins of Aston Villa, which is obviously sort of similar background. He came from the Championship, both at Brentford as well. So very similar sort of paths. He's on level on goals with him, and he looks back in he's got that sort of. That passion back, I think, and he's got that fire in his belly back that we saw, and we were all really surprised, weren't we, that we didn't see him against Arsenal because we thought he could have, done some Arsenal shithousery again because he loves playing them. Ben, what do you think? What do you think of Maupay's form, and do you think he's now back on track, or do you think he's maybe he's still just a minor sort of uprising in form?
He's making baby steps, but he's definitely back on track and getting to the best that we've seen from him. I think you can just tell the fact in second half, straight away, he wanted to take a few players on and he got the foul, won the penalty. So maybe an unconfident Neal Maupay wouldn't have done that, but it's definitely showing that he's getting back into it. And I was, again, so happy he scored the penalty. I thought he was going down the right for a split second. I thought Patricia was about to save it, but straight down the middle. And that's confidence in itself, and it speaks for itself.
Yeah, definitely. Brian, anything to add?
I think he's as I say, he's on the right path. I listened to him after the game, as I said, and he sounded like the old Neil, and I think he did touch on the fact that he was in a bad sort of place. I think he knew he wasn't doing very well. He said that the team were there for him and all that, and he said that he knew he was on a bit of a drought and he wasn't doing very well. I definitely think that hate thing got to him on social media. But he looks like he's on his way back. He looks like, as you say, he's taken players on. He was doing pretty well, and he took his penalty well. I was quite worried about that one. When he stepped up to that, I was like, please just don't miss this, because if you miss it, going back another 6 weeks. But no, he looked good. Can't slate him.
Yeah.
I really hope he does well as well, because like his character and who he is, how he is, I just love him. So I really hope he does well again.
Yeah. No, definitely, and I think you mentioned it at the beginning, Brian. His interview at the end was what I thought was really good. Like it showed the, he's very good. He's a very good speaker, and I feel like he gets his sort of thoughts across really well. And yeah, he showed that. I think he said it himself. He's like the players wanted it. They wanted to show a bit of fight, and I think he sort of he summarizes everything I want us to be. Like he shows that passion, that skill. He's got, he's a great player on his day. He's up there, with one of arguably our best player when he's on his day. So yeah, I just felt like he showed a lot of passion, a lot of fight, and I'm really liking the way he sort of come back, like you said, Ryan, from a lot of abuse and maybe a dark time in his sort of Brighton season, to come back and do really well. So yeah, buzzing for him, and hopefully he can carry it on, because we got a tough run of fixtures now.
I'm surprised how much impact he has on the squad. Obviously, he was saying that he was kind of the guy in the dressing room to be able to kick him on, but maybe his past performances and the fact that he's been out of form has affected the dressing room quite a lot, and maybe affected our actual overall performances. Now we started playing well, we've been doing better.
Wasn't it him, Ryan, and Thingy who had that bust up?
And Connolly, the little bust up,
yeah. So I mean, that could have played a big part, and hopefully maybe they've sort of like patched things up and they've all sort of come together now. But like, look, lads, like it's bigger than us. This Brighton team is bigger than we need to basically play for the shirt and keep us up, basically. So I mean, it's all very, very promising signs. So I'm happy with that. So let's talk about then the next game then. So we got Newport, the big game in the FA Cup. We can finally get a win under our belts, boys. Finally get a win, hopefully.
Yeah, please, come on, please.
But we did a bit of research before, because let's be perfectly honest here. We're not exactly Newport experts, and we didn't know much.
They're a Welsh side. That's all I know.
yeah. But we did a bit of research,
and they're actually. Do you not remember when they beat us 3-1? Was it 2014, 15? Yeah, I think they played us, and they were I think they weren't even in the Football League. Well, they might have just got into the League. And God, yeah, we got beaten 3-1 at the Amex. I remember it so well, because I was there, and I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know Newport before that, but ever since we played them and got battered by them, that's how I'll always remember their name.
Yeah,
probably playing someone like Adam Chickson at left wing or left back.
Yeah, probably. It was something like that. Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, mate, Chickson, he was awful, wasn't he?
He's 29 now. He's 29.
Is that all?
I always remember as a youngster. I
thought he'd be older than that now.
Oh no, I thought he'd be younger than that. But
did you?
Interesting.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, anyway. he wasn't great, was he? But yeah, so Newport, we looked in a little bit. So they're second in the league, in League Two. They're only a point behind Carlisle, and they got a game in hand as well, so they can go top of League Two. So They're doing all right. But they're in a bit of bad run of form. They haven't won in the last 4, so similar to us, really. Well, they've probably been better than us, to be honest. But they are League Two, and so let's be perfectly blunt and honest here, boys. This should be a straight sort of win, really, even with our second string side. The one,
depends if we go for it.
You could argue that the side. Well, yeah, but I mean, the side we put out for Arsenal, you could argue that's our second string, really. And that team should really be beating the likes of Newport in League Two. Let's be frank here.
We done well against Portsmouth earlier in the season, didn't we? So hopefully, and obviously they're League One, aren't they? So hopefully playing against a League Two team should be a bit easier. But one thing I will say is that last year they had a decent cup run. They might have even had a few decent games in the previous year as well. I should know this is 2018-2019. They played City, lost 4-1. That's when they got knocked out at round 5. But they beat Middlesbrough 2-0 in the replay. They drew 1-1 with them in the previous encounter. Beat Leicester as well. So they have got it in them to cause an upset. Yeah. And I think this last season they beat Leeds, I think, at home as well. So they do have an upset in there. Yeah, they do have an upset on them. So
they beat us. As I say, 3-1. It was August 2013 they beat us. Sorry, Maz. I keep losing Wi-Fi, so I keep interrupting you. I think.
No, that's right.
I don't mean to, mate.
That's right, mate. No worries. No worries.
2013 August, I think.
Yeah, I was just about to say, with regards to Newport, I'm not writing them off. I'm not saying, oh yeah, like we're going to absolutely walk over them. But at the same time, I feel like, come on, I think you said it off air, Ryan. Like they are League Two at the end of the day. Like I was sort of bigging them up a little bit. I was like, oh, they're doing all right, but ultimately they are League Two. So I mean, we should with comfortably sort of be beating these
Got
teams.
to beat
very
them,
luckily-
really, haven't we? But then,
yeah.
Luckily, they won't have any fans because I know I've watched them a few times in the cup when they play the Premier League teams, and their fans get behind them so well. Like their fan base is class. Yeah, so luckily they're obviously not going to have fans to get behind them, and who they're normally going to be performing for when they play a bigger team. So that's definitely going to be positive for us.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And they've got a couple of players that we should be sort of wary of. Scott Twine, I believe is that's how you pronounce it, and also Padraig Amond as well. So they've got 11 goals
hero,
between them.
That Hammond.
Yeah. He's decent.
He scores so many goals in the cup games. Like always pops up with a goal. Like if he's playing against the big side, he'll always pop up. I bet he scores.
Oh, is it that
guarantee
guy?
It.
Is he
Yeah.
quite an old
He's
guy?
he's the only one I recognise from that whole squad. Like Amond's
Yeah.
the only one I recognise.
Always
the rest of
scores.
them, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clue who they are. But yeah, no. I mean, it'll be an interesting game. Obviously, we don't. They're an unknown, and like you said, Ben, the FA Cup anything can happen, and that's as the cliched as it sounds, the magic of the FA Cup is real. So we shouldn't go into the game just absolutely disregarding because that's when we fuck up. So we should take it seriously.
I enjoy playing the smaller teams because then we get to talk about players that we don't normally talk about. We get to talk about maybe Malumbi might start. We might be able to talk about him a bit more. So it's always a good chance to see players that don't usually play. So I'll definitely. I'll be watching it, but I'll be more intrigued than maybe some Premier League games because I do like seeing some of the youngsters play.
No, definitely. Like the likes of Zakiri, I think he should be starting against Newport. I want to see Malumbi. I want to see starting. Maybe gives Proper some minutes just to get his fitness back up because I want him to be fully fit and we're sort of raring to go. Because I think he'd be huge for us.
I'd like to see Raider, the Cadra. Is that the?
Oh yeah,
Kadra.
The guy we got from
the
Dortmund.
under-23 player. Yeah. It's a great opportunity for all these under 23 players like we mentioned, all the Malumbis, even Alzate getting a sort of full 90. That'd be good to see. I think a lot of players that we want to sort of see in a Brighton shirt and do well. Even Max Sanders, we don't like you said, we don't talk about him. He could be getting a start there as well. So
Happy birthday, Max, if you're listening.
The question is, will we go for it? Like because so many times in these cup games, I remember the one against Sheffield Wednesday last year. We just wanted to lose that game. We just didn't want to play. I remember watching it and I was like, mate, we might as well just go home at this point because it is so boring. But I
felt sorry for anyone that went to the game that day.
Oh, mate, it's so. Did you go to it?
No, I was watching it in I think it's like the pool, this like snooker club in Brighton called like the Castle or something like that. It's just on the TV. I was watching it thinking, this is dire.
Oh, I was there. I just remember I was so bored. Like it was, and I just it makes me worry. Like if we play that sort of thing and we just we don't really care. We put out half a team and then just sort of let them beat us, and that's what we seem to do because I guess focusing on the Premier League is obviously a lot more important. But it depends on what Potter wants to do. If he wants to go for the cup, I'd love to see us go for a cup. But whether we will or not, I don't know.
Remember Wembley? Oh, Wembley against City. That was class, wasn't it? What a day!
We got absolutely robbed. We were robbed, mate. Robbed.
Kyle Walker, the COVID boy.
The COVID
just going
boy.
to Wembley.
Yeah, when he done that headbutt on Ali Reza.
Yeah, mate. He
didn't give it.
How did he not get sent off?
Yeah, I still don't. To this day, I don't know how he's not been sent off for that.
I'll never.
I remember I was at Wembley, and we had that Liam Tharmon. He was sat behind me. Stood behind me at Wembley.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't recognise him until after the game. We sort of looked at each other, and Liam, if you're watching this, mate, you'll remember. We sort of looked at each other for a good 20 minutes, kept on looking at each other, and it was sort of is that him? But I don't want to say hi in case it's not him because I'd only seen the odd selfie on Instagram or on Twitter, and I was like, is that him? Is that him? I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
one of those
funny,
awkward interactions.
Yeah, I don't think I actually
out of all
said
the places
hello.
we could have been.
Yeah, literally there. He was right behind me.
next to my friend. Just off by chance, I was put right next to two lads I normally go on away days with. We had no idea we were going to be next to each other. It was class. How many people we took? Yeah, the odds.
It's crazy.
Great.
The odds
I
of
think
that.
my dad had the
and then-
similar thing at Wembley. Oh, sorry, man. I think my dad had a similar thing,
No.
and we were there, and he said that literally the whole row that was there was like all his childhood mates from when he was a kid, and he hadn't
that's
seen them
class.
since he moved away. And like there was literally like all
mate,
of
that's
them. Like they kept on coming up to us and was like, "Oh, hello, hello." And I was like, "Dad, who's that?" And he was like, "I haven't seen them since I was your age." So like it's just crazy how they were all in one bit at
crazy.
Wembley. It's
What?
great. Like you think it's a massive
Yeah,
stadium.
that's
and
actually
it's all
mad.
there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
madness. I might have got that
That's
wrong.
nuts.
But I think-
Hopefully, when we get back into the stadiums, hopefully we can sit next to each other. But I never know.
Yeah, be good.
Well, how long
it'd
that's
be
going to be?
1901 club.
Could be- yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Could be another 3 years, boys. So hold tight, hold tight.
Flex the
and then-
podcast to the chief exec. Just be like, look, well, this is the
Yeah.
podcast, boys. So just let's
Yeah,
Come on, Tony, give us some free
you never
tickets,
know.
mate, when we
Well,
get
well,
back.
director's box. Yeah, director's box with Tony Bloom.
Mate, we'll be in the VIP, boys. I love it. Seagull Social.
Right,
Right,
and then head to Shoosh with Aaron Connolly afterwards.
Right, then final thing then, let's talk about, because we are in the January transfer window has officially opened. So we did put a tweet out on the Seagull Social Twitter. So that's at Seagull Social, if anyone wants to go follow us on Twitter. We said, yeah, name a realistic striker you want to see Brighton sign. So I'm just going to go through a couple of names, boys, and then we can discuss it and see, what if we think it's realistic, first of all, and whether we want them at the club. So let's start with then someone, well, Ben, you funny enough replied and said Divock Origi. I think we've discussed him before on the pod, haven't we?
But the main one was Andy Delort. I think Delort or something like that. The one that we actually tweeted. That was the one I was going for.
Yeah.
Then I thought Origi as well. But I'll start off with Andy Delort. I reckon he would be class. Yeah, he's 29 years old, which might turn a few people off, but surely he's got a few more seasons in him. And he definitely looks the part.
Yeah,
And he's
same,
got
yeah.
a red pick. He's got a informed card on Ultimate Team, so that says everything.
That's really brilliant.
Is that how you're scouting players now, Ben? Just
No.
doing it off FIFA cards?
Someone replied to the tweet being saying you play too much FIFA, and I was like, it wasn't even about FIFA, but I understood what you meant.
Oh, right.
So yeah, Montpellier,
okay,
Andy Delort, he'll be good.
Okay, so
I like
Delort
that.
and Divock Origi for you. And then, I think Origi, I mean, I'd quite like to see Origi. I mean, I think anyone would, but my only concern is that realistic? I don't know. Will his wages be too much? Will he want to go to Brighton?
Let's
I
was thinking more of like a half a season loan there, maybe. I wouldn't imagine us signing him fully.
I mean, it's not one of those things where you think, oh my god, Ben, like get a grip. Like, it's not one of those shouts where you think, what the fuck, because it could very well happen. But yeah, I think there might be too many sort of factors that might come into that Origi one. And then who else we've got here? Let's go. Someone said recall
Nketiah's been linked,
Ostergaard.
hasn't he?
yeah,
Nketiah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean,
I think we got to aim higher than that personally.
I personally wouldn't want to get him because I just feel like every club he's been on loan to. So I know obviously Leeds was in the Championship, but then like even for Arsenal, he's not really impressed me. I just don't think he's Premier League level yet. I think another loan to the Championship maybe. I just don't feel like he's Prem level yet personally.
No, I don't think he would offer us too much difference than what we've got at the moment.
No.
Yeah, agreed. And then someone said, Brighton TV 1901 said, recall Ostergaard and tell him to phone Haaland. So I think that one's definitely out the window. And then someone called Maz, I don't know who this guy is, seems like an absolute
Never
chump.
heard of him.
But he said, realistically, get Pele out of retirement. He needs some more goals to add to his career tally. So that was another one. And then Tom Kiley replied saying he'll count his goals against Steele in the 5-a-side games in training.
That was such a class reply.
It's actually so true, though.
Which is very, very true. Okay, now this is a serious one. Now this is a serious shout from Luke Willard, who said, recall Murray from loan. Now, I personally couldn't think of anything worse. But Ryan, what are your thoughts on Murray being recalled?
Yeah,
It's not happening.
Sorry,
but, yeah.
Glenn. It's not 2016, 17 anymore. Like, we're over it now. Like,
Yeah.
but then I say that, and like we need a goal from someone, don't we? But yeah.
No, I get where Luke's coming from in the sense
Yes,
that he's a clinical finisher. Like he is a clinical finisher, but if he's not performing for Watford in the Championship, I'm not being funny, but he's not going to perform at Premier League level anymore. And I just feel like he's not physically there anymore. Like he's he's not. Yeah, he might be able to finish, but he doesn't get into the positions to finish anymore. And he just, you know, in that transition play, the last person you want on a counter attack is Glenn Murray spearheading your counter attack. Like you're literally going at like 2 miles an hour. So
we already go at 2 miles an hour. So imagine if Glenn's just an extra body to get up there. It's just be an absolute pain to watch.
You see Tariq Lamptey charged past him like meep meep meep. What's the road runner? Just like the cartoon.
Yeah, literally.
And then another two, which I think are very unrealistic. We've got Mandzukic and Diego Costa. Obviously, Diego Costa is on a free at the moment, and I think Mandzukic is still at Juve.
He's
a
free agent.
No,
he's
he free
went to
agent?
Qatar, and now he's a free agent.
Okay, yeah,
I wouldn't mind him personally. I wouldn't mind. I've always liked him. He's a bit of a shithouse.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a case of not us wanting him. It's just I think it's a case of him not wanting us.
I think that will be the time where he wants to maybe join the Premier League. I think that would be a good shout. Personally, I
swear Costa's off to. He's linked with Wolves, right?
Yeah. I think Diego Costa.
He's been spoken about Wolves,
but I think Diego Costa and Mandzukic both their wages would be astronomical. So I just don't
imagine
Mandzukic.
That would be like all my childhood dreams of like having like those, you know, 2014 sort of vibes of Mandzukic. Oh god, that would be amazing if we had him here, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm not going to get excited.
And then the final couple, we had Olivier Giroud, which we all mentioned before, but again, I don't see that happening. Yeah, don't see that happening. And then the final one, Joseph Martinez, who plays for Atlanta, out in America.
Him.
So
I don't know much about him. I know he's decent.
To be fair, again,
his goals. He scored like 74 goals and like 80 something appearances in the MLS, which is obviously mental, like really good stats. But it's the MLS. Let's not kid ourselves.
Exactly.
We're talking about the Premier League here. It's a different kettle of fish. I saw like before he joined at Atlanta, he was at Torino. I think he had like 50 appearances and maybe scored like 8 goals, which just shows the difference of like the levels there.
Let's be frank. Bradley Wright Phillips was the goal. I think one of the all-time goal scorers out in the MLS, and he couldn't even get a game for Plymouth Argyle in League One. So I think that just shows the levels. The levels. To be fair, but yeah, go on, Ben.
One they didn't mention. I'm surprised no one said Josh King. I know you've mentioned him, Ryan. I think he's more linked with West Ham at the moment, but I think he would be a good answer. He's got speed. He's got a good finish on him. I'd love to see him.
It's just the attitude thing of King that we mentioned last time, wasn't it? It's like,
is that just because is his attitude bad only because he doesn't want to play in the Championship? Is that, or was it bad before?
Apparently that's what it is. I don't know.
I can understand. That's what it is. Obviously, yeah.
But you'd want to just perform. If you've got to stay at a club, you've got to just stick with it. Like, don't make a big fuss out of it. Just play football. Like, it's better than just sitting in the reserves. Like, I don't know. That's what I would do. I would just play footy. Like, I wouldn't. You know, no matter how much you don't want to be at a club or you don't want to play in a certain league, if you're going to drop that much, then the big clubs aren't going to want you. So, you know.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And then a final one for all our Iranian followers. So also as well, Sardar Azmoun. Yeah, Sardar Azmoun from Zenit. So obviously, I've actually watched him play because obviously I support Iran and they're my home country, and he's actually half decent. But I just feel like it's one of those transfers where he won't cut it at this level.
You're talking from your heart rather than with your head.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player. He's actually, he's a very good target man. But I just feel like he wouldn't be Prem level. But I mean, you never know.
The amount of times I've been sent him and his highlight reels on Instagram is ridiculous. I've got literally so many unread DMs from the Iranians just messaging me about this. How do you say his name? I can't say
Sardar Azmoun.
Azmoun, him.
Yeah,
the amount of times I've been sent about him, and I just have to reply to all of them, and be like, "Yeah, well, I'm not in charge of transfers, but if I'll pass it on,
I'll pass it on to Tony Bloom.
I'll just give him a ring after this, and I'll let him know.
If you were in charge, Ryan, you'll be going for Boulay Dye, wouldn't you? I think you. What did you say? 15 appearances, 11 goals.
Yeah, he'd have been.
Was that or 10 goals?
He'd have been signed back in the summer, mate, if I was in charge. So.
And then final question, boys. Final question to you. What position do you think is more important right now? Would you say it's still a striker, or would you say it's a different area of the team? Let's start with you, Ryan.
It's still a striker, I think, because okay, we scored 3 goals against Wolves, but we've got to face it. We're not going to be scoring 3 goals every game. We haven't magically, started scoring, and it's always going to happen. It's not going to happen, but I think we probably do need backup. I think particularly left wing back we need help with. Right wing back's not ideal, but I think Veltman does a job. But yeah, I definitely think who's that? Omar
Richards. I was literally just about to say that. Mental. I was just about to say his name.
He looks so good. So if we sign, because I think I can see it happening purely because it's obvious that Graham Potter doesn't want to play March in left wing back just because of the amount of times he tries to take him out of there. So I wouldn't be against it. Like apparently he's meant to be like Lamptey but on the other side. So he's one that I'd love to sign. He's out of contract at the end of the season, so he's only going for literally 1 or 2 million. So apparently Reading have let him slip.
I was about to say, just for people who don't know who Omar Richards is, he's a left wing back or left back for Championship club Reading. That we're apparently linked with. It's interesting. He's an interesting player.
Apparently, he was meant to sign a new contract, and it didn't happen or something like that. So they're looking to offload him as quickly as possible because otherwise he'll be off for free. So they want to
likely to see him go in Jan then.
Yeah, they were just basically trying to get rid of his Jan.
Yeah, he's a 22-year-old left wing back, and he's played quite a lot in the Championship. I think last season he made 28 appearances, and this season he's on 19 already. And he's also an under 21 England international as well. So I mean, he sounds he sounds very, very good. But I'll be honest with you, I've never actually seen him play before, but he sounds decent.
I've seen bits and pieces, and I've heard from a lot of Reading fans because normally if we're linked with someone, I normally DM like Reading or whoever fan it is, and I should be like, because that's normally the best opinion you're going to get over
100%.
Someone else. So they tell me I've only ever heard good things about him and how much of a shambles the club is for letting him go for the stupid price because apparently they all think he's worth over 20 mil and they can only get 2 million for him because of his contract being up. So
mad. Oh, well, there you go. I mean, that could be interesting. And Ben, any other positions you want to see filled, or do you think it's similar to what Ryan said?
No, spot on with Ryan. I think striker should be main priority, and then eventually we should be looking at getting the wing backs covered. I'm getting fed up of seeing centre backs playing wing backs.
Same.
It's hurting me. It's hurting me inside every week.
Just to echo both of you, exactly the same. Striker and then fullbacks.
Also goalkeepers. What happens here? Do you reckon we back Sanchez, or do you think we go get another goalie? Because I've seen we've been linked with Sergio Romero, haven't we?
I would love to see Sergio Romero. I would love to see him. I think he's a quality keeper. And I just don't think. I've said this before. I think 2 or 3 times. I just don't think Sanchez is cut out long term. I just don't think he's the answer. But I feel like if we can get Romero in on loan, I think do it. But if we can't, stick with Sanchez until the end of the season and then replace him with someone good. Come the end of this, for the summer. So that's my view on it. But no, if we can get Romero on loan, 100% get him in because I think he's class. Like every time he's played for Man United, when he's had to, he's always done well. I don't think he's ever dropped a massive clanger. So I think he's a great keeper.
Decent.
Before we forget, we've obviously spoken about incomings and people potentially joining the club. Who will we be expected to leave? Obviously, Matty Ryan's been given the green light. Are there any other players that we might have missed that might
Dan
be
Burn,
going
hopefully.
out on loan or getting shipped out? I think, Dan Burn, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Can we afford to really get rid of many people at the moment? Really?
Maybe some centre mids. Maybe Malumbi on loan somewhere.
Yeah,
or
Malumbi.
Max Sanders on loan somewhere.
There's talk of Alexis going, wasn't there? Whether that's the right decision or not, I'm not so sure. Maybe he's not yet Premier League quality. Maybe a Championship loan could do him quite well. But
I think he'd tear up. I think he'd tear up the Championship. To be honest.
I hope so.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Zakiri go on get that loan to Norwich. He was linked with that.
Apparently that was a load of rubbish.
Brilliant.
Apparently that's never mind.
Like most stuff, to be fair, well, you do waste like transfers are just sometimes a lot of rubbish. But you just
we just got to try and watch out what we look at.
Yeah,
100%. All right, lads. Really good chat today. I think we covered a lot. Obviously, went into the game a lot in depth. Then we talked about the transfers, etc. Going into Newport, hopefully we can get that W. Maybe get that elusive win. I think it might just do us wonders, even if it's against Newport, League 2 Newport. Even getting a win there, that would be, I think,
It would be
big
quite
for the
nice, wouldn't it,
confidence.
just to get,
Yeah,
just to get a win.
Yeah,
Nice.
just to talk about a win for a while.
Literally.
So that would be nice. And then pretty much everything. So yeah, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It does really make a big difference. And of course, keep streaming it on Apple and Spotify. And we shall be back next week to talk about the Newport game. So peace.
Peace.